What's good? What's good? We're here with State of the Fandom. We got some numbers, right? We got some we got some numbers for a Rebel Moon franchise. Much love to the chat. Much love to Still Nation. Got a lot of things planned for this platform. As we it's always a scheduled thing. Much love. Let's see. I saw it was a Chubby Teddy Monster. What's good with you, man? Mari, what's up? Mr. Sean, appreciate with the assist. Music City Soul, what's up with you, man? Fernando, Jovic, Cygnus, Maria. Let's get this going, man. I know it's been a little hiatus for some streams for State of the Fandom, but definitely we got some information to go over. Cigar Gangster, what's good? I know it's been a minute with a lot of y'all. This gonna be a little more frequent though, and I'll kind of explain how we're gonna do the content. But we want to catch up and set expectations. Zack Attack, that calls for a TV dinner. That's random as hell. So Israel, what's good? We gotta talk about the confirmed success of Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon franchise. Maybe a lot of us was ahead of our time talking about what this film needed to do and the numbers that we anticipated. It appears we wasn't too far off. As far as what happened. Plus, you already know what State of the Fandom. Of course, we want to look at the Zack Snyder news, but also at times we see the connection with Warner Brothers as well. So we're going to talk about some Warner Brothers topics / DC. So, like Yobi said, I thought it failed, and it succeeded exactly how we anticipated. Last year we talked about it. Shout out to Carlos, I see you. Yeah, we're gonna get back in the swing over here. I know people thought I just went to cover Superman and that was it. But we're gonna talk about all that. So actually, let's get into it. As far as again, just setting expectations. Lady CC, what's going on with you? Now we're getting the whole crew back together here to talk about these numbers. So going forward, like I said, with the platform, we definitely want to get more active. I definitely want to bring y'all more conversations, more Zack Snyder conversations over here, following his content. And following as far as really what's the long-term messaging, because if y'all remember when I first started my channel, you OGs, you true OGs of Still Nation. Yes, Lady CC's on time. That's right. It's always a long-term message, and it just kind of works out that way when you deal with information and news. When I first started my platform, it was about, hey, the Snyder Cut's coming. Let's cover all the trailers and the TV spots. And it was such an exciting time. And we was looking forward to the Snyder Cut coming out. And then after I connected with late, great Mikey Sutton and Geekosity, it was about the merger as far as Hamada and Emmerich is about to lose their job, right? It's always a long-term, messaging. And around that time, we was talking about the possibility of Warner Brothers selling after Zazzov. See, we talked about that in May 2021. As soon as Zazzov, Warner Brothers Discovery announced the merger, and it took another year for that deal to close. When they announced it, me and Mikey was reporting Zazzov, he's going to be open to flipping. The company now is looking more in like pieces, but we're going to talk about that. So what's the long-term messaging going forward, right? Because when we put information over here, especially if it's Zack Snyder related, DC related at times, it usually catches on because I try to back up anything I'm talking about with business journals and things that I'm hearing as well too. This is what we're on right now. We're keeping an eye. We're keeping an eye on what's going on with I think what's his name, Ashik. We're keeping an eye on the Saudis over there in that Zack Snyder connection. We got our eyes on several directions. I just want to make it very clear. Almost like almost like Superman. Like our eyes, we're looking at multiple things. Go forward. We got an eye, one eye on Turkey Al Sheikh. And we got another eye on Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers, what y'all up to over there? But and DC as well too. But no, we focus, y'all. We focus. But these are going to be, any information that I'm able to get or anything that comes out with that, we're going to make sure it's on this platform. I'll make sure I announce the stream ahead of time and get back to like some kind of scheduled, information. So just to set proper expectations with y'all, again, scheduling is always a thing for me. My job changes schedules a couple of times every year. So I'll be hitting y'all with sometimes some Saturday streams, evening. And I'm talking about Stay of the Fandom or updates, and sometimes it may be Mondays, but definitely stay tuned. Going to have different voices in the fandom, but that's gonna be the long-term energy there. We got our eyes, like I said, for sure, fixated there. So that's one thing. People talked about the platform as far as what's going on with the monetization. That should all be kind of cleared up just in time, probably for Easter Sunday. But that should be cleared up within a few weeks here. When that is cleared up, we will reintroduce memberships over here. Those that longtime supporters of the platform, memberships it'll be probably like $199 to show your support. Again, and also too, you will be getting some uploads that I may not, go live, but you'll get updates, membership updates like that. So it's going to be like I said, probably like $199 for the membership. We want to build back up that membership community over here when that time comes. So appreciate y'all. Those who's been looking for different scoops and stuff, because this channel is going to remain like it's always started. Very Zack Snyder centric. Some Warner Brothers, some DC stuff. That's the main channel for this. And then when we're talking about, if I do more like DC stuff or coverage, I got that Superman channel. And I appreciate those who, if that conversation's not for you, that's fine. That's exactly, I know some people felt like, they wanted to support what I'm doing. And even if they hate James Gunn Superman, they still follow those stories on that other channel. And I'm saying, I don't want you to torture yourself now. It's okay. That's why I did a separate channel, because I want to keep the core what it's always been. So we definitely, like I said, we definitely got our eyes open, ears to the street per usual. But like I said, this channel is going to be the essence of what we've always done. And I'm just glad YouTube is finally clearing up that snafu. Messing with my content. So I'll be able to start reintroducing some old videos on this channel. Some people come to this channel to watch, some of the classic videos I had with the late great Mikey Sutton, and when I covered the trailers back in the day, all that stuff, YouTube was kind of mucking up. We got the world-renowned artist Noel Leon Flores on the side of peace. Hey, I'm gonna put you on the spot now. Well, we need to get together for that collaboration I was talking about. But I'm gonna leave it there. But no, the sylabdul Geek Network, always lurking, my man. The sylabdul Network, it definitely got that launch. I think the Linktree link should be in the description. You know, I'm gonna have separate covers for like Marvel stuff, X-Men stuff, Spider-Man, things like that. So, but again, like I said, the essence will be the essence here. So that I want to make sure I get that out there. Y'all know when those like the memberships will have exclusive videos and early preview on videos. Now those that I was mentioning that catch some of my scoops, exclusives, and stories that I put out there, all that's going to remain on the Patreon link. That should be in the description as well. That's where I get my exclusives, and that could be Marvel, DC. I just dropped some information about the Boys spinoff, Soldier Boy spinoff. So all that's going to remain on Patreon. Even after memberships come back here, this is going to be, like I said, really focused on any Zack Snyder updates, Warner Brothers, some DC stuff. Right. So now that we got that clear, like I mentioned, interested in Rebel Moon news. Definitely a Patreon. That's going to be where it's at for like any scoops that I do. But Zack Snyder stuff it's going to be here, and if you're a member here, and that's why I'm gonna have it just like a low price for memberships over here, because some of y'all are already patrons, and want to make sure I set the proper expectations. So, speaking of Warner Brothers, let's do this first. I did a video. I do streams on X Twitter as well. So if you are a Twitter user, if you haven't been following me yet on Twitter and you're on Twitter, I don't know how that's possible. If you are a subscriber of the channel and you're on Twitter as well, and you're not following me on Twitter at sylabdul, I do special streams on Twitter as well. I did that a lot because this whole copyright stuff that was going on with YouTube. So definitely, if you're on Twitter, I mean, you missing out if you ain't following me over there. And whenever Warner Bros. Messes up, and that's kind of, like I said, we're kind of back to the essence with that. So, nice segue by the OG Jovic, because I did a stream earlier today on Twitter, and I want to cue that up because I kind of followed this Warner Brothers. Y'all saw this video over here. I was talking about DeLuca and Abdi and how they're kind of being set up to fail for this spring for Warner Brothers Pictures. So let me bring up that video, and then we'll talk about this further. Where we at here? Oh, here we go. First, let me turn my camera off because it's from earlier today. So I want to give y'all like a whiplash and a weekend for that. All right, let's back this up here. $1 billion on it. Well, what? Extra. You're at a loss. Opening weekend for that. Costs roughly $45 million. All right. So to set up what I'm talking about here, just babbling away earlier, Warner Brothers this spring, and let me bring my camera up. Warner Brothers this spring, we talked about the Mickey 17 and how there's a string of Warner Brothers pictures where they spent a little bit too much and they're not expecting a good return. All right, that was at the Luca Abbey video I did not too long ago. So now, we're at this point now where these films are coming out and there's kind of one bomb after another. Mickey 17, the Boon Jong-ho film, cost about $120. They just crossed 100 million globally, and it took them about 3 weeks. So they spent $120 to make the film, probably another 100 for marketing, right a little under 100. So let's say they put $200 million in that film. They just scratched to 100 million, like I said, in 3 weeks, basically. That film's a bomb. That film's in trouble, right? Mickey 17, they're going to lose money. The next film, Alto Nights, is a Robert De Niro film with Warner Brothers. And this is what I was talking about here. So let me just kind of set the stage and let's play it here. Costs roughly $45 million. That's the film. Again, this is the Alto Nights film, Robert De Niro. Cost $45 million to make this film. This is the next Warner Brothers film. Mickey 17 failed. Now up is this film. It cratered in North America with a $3 million debut. Alto Nights. I gotta see something real quick. This is so I misspoke when I said that because that's actually the international numbers. So let me actually jump ahead because I caught a L live on that. Let me see. K screens. Jeez. Okay, that's what it was. Okay, no, so I'm right. So I reversed my L and gave it back to me. So what you see here on the screen is, let's see, maybe we can put it up like this, and then I can put my camera back on. What I displayed there was first off an L, but then also Alto Nights cost $45 million to make. All right, $45 million. It made $3 million. I can't stress this enough how bad this is. Okay, it's $45 million. Only made $3 million for a North America release. Right. And then internationally only got 1.8 million, meaning 45 million budget for the film. They didn't spend more than 25, 30 on marketing. So they put about $75 million into this film and marketing together. Only got 5 million return globally. This is one of the biggest L's. It's just because it's a low budget film, people are not paying too much attention to it. This is a terrible. If you make 5 million globally this week, what you think you're gonna make next week? You're gonna make less than half. This film may not make $20 million globally for its entire run. Alto Nights, big L right there. We got Cigar Gangster. I have no sympathy for these studios. Yes, sir. We don't have sympathy for the conglomerates. Yeah, I never, like you said, when Warner Bros. Messes up, we're going to be able to talk about it. Hey, if they mess up with Superman, we'll talk about it then. But also, too, I'm going to always give credit where it's due. This ain't no credit to give here. And again, this is all tying into Zazzab is ready to scapegoat DeLuca and Abdi, but it's kind of like casualties of wars with that. Sinners, Minecraft, Superman make bank. Yep, they are not going to do it. Wow, yo. So that's interesting. Real popcorn, what's good? So that's 2 in a row. Mickey 17, Alto Nights, L's, right? So let's continue with the rest of the report because what's up next? Let's see. Oh, and what I was looking up here, I was like, it only made 3 million. I was like, was it a limited release? No, it was not. This was a wide release. Just remind me which one we talking about, or I don't know, maybe you commented about somebody else. But man, so the point I was making though is this succession of these flops for Warner Brothers. Oh my goodness, man. Waterworld. Okay, yeah, you was talking about something. Okay, got you, Hayward. So this stretch of Warner Bros., the point I was making with DeLuca and Abdi like a month ago, you got this drop, right? Mickey 17, that already flopped. Alto Nights, that's flopping. What's next? The next thing they're kind of trying to look forward to is this Minecraft situation. And so, will this pick up the pace for Warner Brothers? All right, and from here, it's even more L's that I don't even want y'all to see. But but Minecraft is up next. All right, so I kind of could just talk about this. Yeah, Minecraft, it's WB and Legendary together. which means this film may have a chance. Legendary ain't too bad when they invest in projects. Legendary, I believe they were a part of Man of Steel, right? Legendary, they do the Dune films. If I'm, this is off kind of top of the head. So Minecraft actually has a chance. So, but it's a lose-lose for Warner Brothers with Minecraft. Because if it's a win, then Warner Brothers is not going to get all the credit. Something that's going to go to Legendary. But if Minecraft fails, all the loss is going to go on Warner Brothers. That's just how it's going to be. That's how it's going to go. Now, right now, Minecraft, they spent $150 million to make. It's pacing for like a 55 million opening. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But that was what I was covering earlier today. So I just wanted to show y'all that. I saw a Looney Tunes movie in theaters. Yeah, we're going to talk about Ketchup Entertainment. They're doing a lot of business with Warner Brothers. I have no idea how Zaz is messing up Warner Brothers like this. But see, with Looney Tunes, that's through Ketchup Entertainment. They got the rights to screen it. So that's actually out of Warner Brothers' hands. Now, what Warner Brothers may do is see there is interest in, first off, in that Looney Tunes film. Dang, did I have the numbers on that? I think they put in like 15 million and they made back about 8 million, I believe. I wish I had that number available, but Ketchup Entertainment, they didn't put too much money into this. And then, but what Warner Bros. Is going to turn around and do is stream that Looney Tunes movie to take the streaming credit for it. So that's why Ketchup Entertainment, we'll talk about Coyote versus Acme in a moment. Now Ketchup is saying we want the full rights. We want to buy the project. This is going to be a very interesting transaction, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, Looney Tunes, I definitely still got to see it. I say support it in theaters. Support it in theaters. Yeah, Minecraft, WB. Are there any recent releases this year that are actually doing well, or is it just Warner Bros. Is struggling? So far this year, I think they said the best performances so far this year is Captain America: Brave New World and Snow White, as far as just openings. And Snow White just bombed, for Disney. And Captain America: Brave New World actually is doing better, did the best so far. Minecraft may have a chance to jump all this, and definitely Thunderbolts is going to be a success by May. But no, it hasn't been a good start. To answer your question, Cygnus, it has not been a good start for theaters. If your best performance is Captain America, and I'm talking about opening week and legs, if your best performer is Captain America: Brave New World, then you're in trouble. And number 2 is Snow White, and that bombed out of the gate. It's a tough start. Tough start to the year in film. Warner Bros. Just falling apart after they kicked Nolan and Zack out. Meanwhile, Nolan, he's doing that Odyssey film with Universal. That's going to be huge, right? That's all this could have been Warner Brothers. And see, and DeLuca and Abdi, they're trying to repair relationships, but now Zazev may oust them. So it's just like it's going backwards. You know what I mean? Hey, DeLuca and Abdi, I mean, we talked about them for the last couple of years and how they wanted Zack back. They wanted one last ride. All that's been confirmed, And now, I mean, they're the ones that's how full circle happened because of DeLuca and Abdi. That's according to Zack and Debbie. So now, like I said, they may be sacrificed, and they'd probably be better for just moving to a better situation because they got good relationships in Hollywood. So now after Minecraft, 2 weeks, Minecraft opens April 4th. So that's not this weekend, next weekend. And then 2 weeks after that is Sinners, right? And so we'll talk about that more when that comes out. I'm actually pulling for that film, and they're doing like a kind of like a grassroots marketing. They're saving a lot of money with their marketing, just highlighting this is a Ryan Coogler film starring Michael B. Jordan. That's all you need to know about that film. You know, it's a period piece. It has some supernatural elements. Yeah, I'm sold. Let's watch it, right? So I think Sinners has a chance. They spent $100 million for that too. If it has a solid opening, I think that film could get some profit. Sinners, I think there's a chance because they're keeping the marketing budget really low for that film. So, see, Mickey 17, they didn't get ahead of that film and market it. That again, that's on Warner Brothers overall. It's going to 2 movies, and yeah. So you're talking about Minecraft next weekend, 2 weeks after that, Sinners. But it's 2 different genres. So Minecraft is like for like what the millennials, or I guess I forget how to categorize people, but they're thinking Minecraft's going to do decent, and then Sinners is just a totally different genre. So yeah, that's what Warner Brothers. Sinners with Warner Brothers. Okay, so let's take this down here. Interesting. So like I said, Mickey 17, Alto Nights. Now Minecraft is up next. We'll see with Warner Brothers, and then Sinners right after that. So we'll see. We'll see. Interesting stuff with that. So someone brought up Gen Z Minecraft. Okay. Yeah. And they think they got that audience. We'll see. I talked about that trailer earlier. It didn't land for me. I don't know nothing about the game really. So we'll see if they got the audience. All right. So someone brought up that Coyote Acme. So let's bring that up real quick. No, not that. Hate the sound of my voice. But Coyote Acme. So since we talk about Looney Tunes, let's talk about this briefly. Because this is an interesting deal for Warner Brothers and Ketchup Entertainment, right? We talk about that Looney Tunes movie that's scratching out some money, even internationally. And in fact, internationally, I think it's already made like 10 million globally for an animated film, not any marketing really at all. So I pull for companies like that want to give people what they want. You know, you hear that Zaza pulled all the Looney Tunes off of HBO Max or Max. Tubi picked it all up. So it's those type of companies, those smart companies like Tubi and like I said, Ketchup Entertainment. Now this here, and maybe this we can clear up a few things because that's one thing. I kind of went on a tangent earlier today on Twitter on my stream earlier about just misinformation or people that farms engagement, especially when they try to farm Snyder fans. You know, you may have certain scoopers that say, "Hey, I got a Zack Snyder scoop coming. Just retweet my tweet." And then you see people fall for that. It's like, bro, we can't be allowing people to farm Snyder fan content, right? Or a Snyder fan engagement. And I'm saying all this for a reason, but like Jason talked about Batgirl. What's up with you, Jason? Yeah, we're going to be back normal, regular here. Definitely. All is good. All is in a good place for sure. It says, what's up with the potential Batgirl leak footage after it was axed? So, yeah, that was, Batgirl, and we covered that in real time. Batgirl was shelved, for a tax incentive, just like Coyote versus Acme. And so when it was time to, to basically list Batgirl as a tax incentive and wrote off, they buried that film. They had a ceremony for Batgirl on Warner Brothers lot. And according to just word from that, and again, I covered this. This was about 2 years ago. Most people they screened it on the Warner Bros. Lot and they buried Batgirl, so it can never legally be sold or shown again. If someone has a copy, they literally do got to leak it like on a thumb drive. It's already been written off with the government as a tax incentive. And according to everyone that saw that final screen of Batgirl, overwhelmingly they said it was terrible. Okay. So and we just, all we do is take people's word for it. Someone told me the entire breakdown of the film. Michael Keaton Batman is probably in it less than 10 minutes. Couple scenes. And just overwhelmingly, they said the film was terrible. Batgirl had that makeshift suit the entire time. She gets her final suit at the end. Everything we suspected to happen happened. Was it Brendan Fraser? They say he was the best part of the film, but he was he was overacting. So that film is gone. Yeah, the film, like Mr. J, that film is dead. They had a ceremony, and I tried to remind people of that because again I covered it in real time. So what's different about Coyote versus Acme? Well, they declared last year that they were going to make this a tax incentive, meaning you put it on next year's taxes, right? So the following year. So 2022, Zaz have said Batgirl did. They claimed it on their 2023 taxes. Last year, they declared Coyote. So 2024, they declared Coyote versus Acme did, and they was going to claim it on this year's taxes. Ketchup Entertainment steps in here to intercept it before they claimed it on their taxes. So that's why this still can be a thing. So Warner Bros. Was not allowed to claim Coyote versus Acme yet on their taxes. And also, too, Warner Bros., they would have went forward with it if their price tag was not met. And we'll go further as far as what they're talking about with this. But yeah, sorry for any Batgirl fans. As you can't be more deader than that. It won't rise from the grave, on Easter Sunday. It's not happening for you Christians out there. This Ketchup Entertainment is expected to land distribution rights for Coyote versus Acme. Though the sale has not closed, the price tag is reportedly in the $50 million range. And I think at first Warner Bros. Wanted 60, so I think Ketchup kind of talked them down. I believe wholeheartedly they're going to get this deal done. It says, again, they're an independent distributor. Recently spearheaded the theatrical release of the Day the Earth Blew Up, that Looney Tunes movie. That opened up, got about 4 million domestically, and got a couple more million internationally. So they're making a little money from that. No, that's what it was. The terms of this deal never fully came out. But I want to say, hey, I don't have a number. It's unclear the full terms, like what did Ketchup paying to get in this the Day the Earth Blew Up, but all they have is screening rights. But now what Coyote versus Acme, they want everything. They want the screening rights. They want to outright own the film. This is a little unprecedented. I mean, it's not that crazy because Warner's has sold projects to like other streamers before. This is just more highly publicized, I think. So as it says, they attempted to shelve it. Okay, it was the end of 2023, but they didn't go. They didn't go through with it. Talks about Batgirl and the Holiday Hunt. Those were all tax write-offs. Those were out of there. And let's see, where's that? I wanted to find that term. Let's go back here. It's a term they use like all rights. Let's see. They want distribution rights, but then also, maybe it was a separate article. Did they want to outright own this project so they could stream it obviously in theaters, but then also stream it? It'll be a separate deal, and they'll be the one making the deal as far as where it will stream. So just in theory, they get Coyote versus Acme. They spend their $50 million and get this, screen it just like they're doing the Looney Tunes film now. This has a Coyote versus Acme has a chance to have a pretty decent run too. And then if it's actually entertaining, for the family and stuff, they could make a little money off of this. And then they could turn around and sell the streaming rights. Ketchup Entertainment can sell the streaming rights like Amazon or Netflix, right? So this is a pretty good business move here. And like I said, I support companies that step in like that. We got Peely in the chat. What's good? Shout out to Jovic. Yeah, a little business. Is Cape Crusader getting season 2? Yeah, I think 2 and 3. But yeah, the Amazon. Yeah, okay, yeah. Thanks for reminding. I was thinking, I was like, what's another example? Coyote versus Acme is different because they're going to put it in theaters first, and then it'll be next year. And then they're going to make a separate streaming deal because they will own the rights to it, right? Cape Crusader was outright sold to Amazon. But, just streaming. And I believe it's, I think they co-financed the production for it as well, too. But so that's a little more smaller scale. Coyote vs. Acme, you have a little movement online about, Coyote vs. Acme. They actually saved it. And so there's going to be some interesting pub for it when it goes into theaters, right? So that's going to be a win for, again, Ketchup Entertainment. Yeah, Cape Crusader, I liked it. I mean, it was a couple episodes that fell flat for me, but I liked it overall. All right, interesting stuff with that, Coyote versus Acme. And again, so the point, I meant to talk about this while I have this up. This could set a precedent. This is literally the example of Warner Brothers selling an IP or selling a project. So that means Ketchup Entertainment, they can market this film using these versions of the characters, right? And they'll be able to screen it in theaters. And then, like I said, they'll be able to sell it separately to a streamer as well, too. This is the blueprint. If you're for a third party for Snyderverse, this is literally the template right here. Now, the first thing you're going to need, if you're going to have another Coyote versus Acme situation, the best example of that right now is Ayer Cut. Because you already spent the money and made the film, just like Coyote versus Acme. You have it in the votes, just like they had, again, Coyote versus Acme. Ayer Cut's in the votes. And instead of releasing it yourself, you sell it to a third party, and that's what they're doing with Coyote versus Acme. I mean, I think that's literally the template what they should do with the haircut because it's already made. Yeah, it'll probably need a little VFX touch up at the end, according to Will Rowlands. He saw the haircut, so he told us like, yeah, all he needs is just a little touch up at the end. And shoot, I mean, to keep it real, I mean, they don't have to do that; just release it. So that's the template. Because as far as for a new Justice League project, I mean, if you can get some funding, so what I tell y'all what we own, we can get some funding to fund a Justice League film made, and then Warner Bros. Wants to sell the rights for someone to distribute it. I mean, we may can find some change, under the sofa or something. We may have someone that could fund this, right? That's why we're keeping our eye again on the Saudis over there. And that's what I always said. This can go several different ways. Third party, we have a template now. We have a couple examples now. Like I mentioned, Cape Crusader, Coyote versus Acme, that Looney Tunes film that's in theaters right now. That's a template for third party. Hashtag Saudi watch. Or if we need a co-financer and just make that film under Warner Brothers, Zack knows some people. My point overall, though, with Zack doing more DC, I'm not here to close any doors. If it's going to be third party, it's going to be under Warner's, however y'all want to rock with that. Saudi watch. That's what we own. That's what we own right now. For sure. Interesting. Before we get to the Rebel Moon talk, there was of course, we're staying with Warner Brothers news. Let's see here. Turkey Al-Sheikh, he may be a trillionaire, bro. This man, he may have a couple trillions of dollars. That's how deep that goes. All right, we're keeping an eye on that, man. Now again, I said on that last stream, it got a lot of people's attention because all I do is go off what I hear. It's already been talks between Warner Brothers and the Saudis, Zaziv and the Saudis. It's whether it was back channels or whatever you want to call it. They're not going to tell you this publicly, nah. Hey, that's why I'm here, right? And other creators like me. So the talks is already starting. It's just, where is this going? Is it DC? Where is this going? Or will they sell DC? That's nothing we're keeping our eye on. We'll see. But then you get this news yesterday. Just remind me where we're at right now with Warner Bros. With DC. The Smallville animated revival and continuation is currently off the table. They've been trying to get this done since like 2022 as well. Then there was a regime change, and then Gunn and Safran came after that, another change with them. Now they're saying it's off the table because Warner Bros. Is rebooting Superman. Everything comes around in one form or another. We got the quote here. It says Warner's is obviously going through a lot. I think the fact that they are in the process of rebooting Superman again, kind of unfortunately, I think that keeps our thing off the table for a bit. Now, Shin, as far as I don't know what you heard, but Rosenbaum, he's been talking about this animated thing, like I said, for 3 years. And they never said they had to wait until now. So unless you just saw something this past week, this is news for a reason. But what this tells you, first off, I would have loved to see that Smallville animated thing. I think that would have been dope. But what this tells you, now, Shin, the quotes from a couple months ago, now, again, I covered it on the channel. They never said it finality like this. They didn't. But this is showing you the energy of what DC is going to be right now. And I just want to remind people of this. Again, it's not about what might happen, what I hope to happen. I make it clear when I tell you what I hope to happen. But if I'm being told one thing, I want to prepare y'all for the things I'm telling you. Early last year, after the writer's strike and actor's strike, a lot of people was like, and even I put a video out, I said, is this strike, will this affect Superman production? This is before last spring. I was like, hey, will they delay this film? Or something? I put out that video. Then I was contacted that week, and it was like, no, like they're headstrong in getting this Superman film shot and put out there. And now the difference between me and a lot of other people, they talk about what they hope to happen. And so you saw a lot of different channels saying, oh, they're not going to make that Superman film. They're not going to make it. And I was told, I was like, again, I'm trying to prepare you for what's going to happen. I was like, no, they're going to make the Superman film. And then shortly after that, I was told of 4 or 5 projects that DC was going to make. Now, a lot of people scoffed at that early last year. Again, is that because, I just want Gunn to come out with 10 things? Nah, it's just that's what I'm hearing. And I'm not going to, steer y'all wrong. Now, at that time, we knew Creature Commandos, Superman, Peacemaker, Lanterns, Supergirl. And at that time, I said likely Booster Gold. Booster Gold's been delayed. They moved up Clayface. So you're getting this first wave of DC. Is the point. Then they will assess how it does by next summer. Now, y'all are welcome to bang your head against the wall and say, oh, if Superman doesn't do that well, they're canceling everything. They're not. You're getting this first wave. But I'm saying all this to say, no matter what James Gunn does, again, this first wave is probably with Smallville. Any talks of, let's say, air cut, that could be back on the table next year, because all Gunn want to do is get his first wave out, and then they will reassess at that time. So then there could be talks of the air cut again next year. I believe there will be talks of the air cut next year. We'll see. We'll definitely see. Now, people, that whole air cut 2022 thing, that was confirmed. And now we see why they're holding off on that and Smallville and, possibly other stuff. Now, no matter what James Gunn's first wave does, this is one thing I want to make very clear, at least on my channel, on my platform, because everyone's going to, crash out how they want to about a lot of stuff. But even if Superman does mid, Gunn's going to get up to the Supergirl film, to reassess some things. That's not going to affect anything that we've been talking about today. Keeping our eyes on potential alliances and just overall Warner Brothers potentially, it's very likely they're going to split the company, film and streaming together, TV assets on another end. They may still sell the gaming. There's going to be movement. And yes, if the main thing with, because I know there's an audience that they just want James Gunn to fail. And that's fine. the main thing that you'll get out of James Gunn failing, if that's the energy you want to put, into this, if he fails, they'll likely sell DC. No matter what happens, though, Gunn can succeed, and I still believe Zack Snyder would do DC again. Gunn can fail, and they sell DC, and I still think Zack will be able to still do DC. So it really don't matter what James Gunn does. That's the main point I'm trying to tell y'all. People are hedging everything, going, what we got to do, we got to tank Superman. If you want Superman to fail, just don't talk about it. Now, there's some funny memes and stuff. There's funny jokes and stuff, so that's cool. But just putting your energy thinking you're doing that because that's going to bring Zack back. No, Zack can still do DC, whether Gunn is there or not. But if James Gunn, if this first wave fails, if DC's a failure from Superman, in between, and Supergirl fails, whatever order they want to put that in, if it's looked at as a failure, then they're going to sell DC. That's what's going on. And Zack can either do DC under Warner Brothers or do DC with the Saudis over there or wherever. I believe Zack's going to do DC no matter where it ends up at. I'm trying to set proper expectations. Because I see people hedging a lot on they need Superman to fail. So, again, with me, it don't matter what it does to me. If it's a bad film, then it deserves to fail. But I don't go off conspiracies and stuff. I don't do that. All right. And so if you jump in my comments and you're throwing some kind of conspiracy that I know is wrong, I'm like, no, I want to make sure people are properly informed. That's how I've always run my channel like that. So I don't go off of, like, again, what I hope to happen. We could have that conversation, but this is what's going to happen. Again, this next year of DC, you're getting this first wave. You're getting Superman. If that does mid, Peacemaker's coming out a month later. Streaming. Lanterns comes out next probably spring. Supergirl next summer. They're about to make Clayface. They want to make that Sergeant Rock film. They want to get that out by next summer as well. So, and then again, this is talking about DC overall. They're going to assess where DC is at that point. And then they could likely put DC on the market. And when they put DC on the market, that means they're going to see how much it's worth, and then they're going to sell it. Why make Clayface? I swear. Money always talks. Exactly. If they're not making money with this first wave of DC, then it's going to be a real possibility. They're going to sell DC. We'll see. But as far as the Zack Snyder factor, it don't matter what Gunn is doing, whether he success or fails. I believe Zack will do DC again. And that's what we were keeping an eye on everything, right? One more thing we want to touch on, because again, it's still Warner Brothers related. Just a little talk of the Superman real quick. Been a lot of talk about the marketing and all the pressure of Warner Brothers films this year is on Superman. And I said this earlier, and I want to make sure this distinction is made. Just like I wanted to make that distinction, people want to connect the Superman film failing to get Zack back. It can do whatever. It can go belly up. It can do whatever. Has nothing to do with what Zack's going to do. But this distinction I want to make clear here with Superman. Warner Brothers, I told you, we talked about all the films that's failing, Mickey 17, Alto Nights, we'll see what Minecraft does, etc. Warner Brothers needs Superman. Warner Brothers needs Superman to succeed. And in a weird way, Superman, and follow me when I say this, Superman is more important in theaters for Warner Brothers than even it is for DC itself. Because DC itself will at least get to next summer to recover. And I'll explain why. If Superman fails, Warner Bros. Will fail for the year, theatrical. But for DC, Peacemaker will stream the week after that. And Lanterns will come out again next spring. Zaza thinks this streaming stuff could work for DC. So Superman can underwhelm, and DC will still again get this first slate up to Supergirl next summer. It's not about what it might happen. I'm trying to tell you what's about to happen. But I'm saying all this because I want to prepare y'all just in case Superman does well. There's people thinking that that's it for Zack Snyder. And I'm just trying to show you that connection's not there. That's the main point. Batmite, that's funny. So who's talking about the marketing? Shin, I think, mentioned the marketing. This is what this new marketing team is about to do for Superman. They wanted to reset the marketing. You know, we talked about keeping our eyes on everything, all directions. It was very clear. This was one of the worst marketed like major IPs. Because the first teaser trailer, that whole week was a success. I was getting feedback from like general audience avenues, and it was like, oh, Gunn may actually do it. This bastard may do it. He may pull off a hit. And then all these TV spots and weird things started happening, and we covered the story. Then they got rid of, they got rid of the main marketing, and it just happened to kind of luck up and have a good teaser trailer week. This is after they fired the marketing. You had a good teaser trailer. Then it was like, okay, let's keep going. And that's when they effed up. Right? That's when they effed up. And we got the eyes to prove it. So now, after that, you got this special consultant team, marketing team, just for Superman. Warner Brothers hired them just for Superman under DC. They didn't give this to the centers with Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. They didn't give them nothing. Mickey 17 got nothing. Minecraft got nothing. They just fighting for their life. They fighting to survive with their marketing. They gave all this focus to Superman. So this is what they're going to do. Again, not telling you what might happen, telling you what is happening. Okay? Or what I hope to happen. No, this is what's about to happen. So this came out as far as, first off, okay, CinemaCon. Next Tuesday, right? Next Tuesday, CinemaCon in Vegas. This is for theater exhibitors. Sometimes they screen the films there. They're not going to screen Superman there. But you get special looks and things like that of theatrical films. It's nothing streaming there, just theatrical. So word is James Gunn and the entire Superman cast, or most of the main members, will be at CinemaCon in Vegas. We're all expecting a new trailer under this new marketing team, this new energy they're putting into it. That's going to be next Tuesday, April 1st. Then 2 days after that, at least internationally, or at least in Thailand, it's going to be a new 5-minute preview for the Superman film in IMAX only. This is the mark of this new marketing team. This is what they're going to do. Will this make its way to IMAX screens like over here in the States? No word on that yet. But best believe when they screen this 5-minute preview in Thailand, IMAX, it's going to leak online. I mean, let's just keep it real. It's going to leak online. So no matter what they do, it will behoove them to go ahead and just attach it to all the other screenings. So you got the trailer, a fresh new trailer from the new focus group, right? The new consultant team. And then a 5-minute preview, which will likely, according to what we've heard with the film, it'll probably be the first 5 minutes of the film or some kind of mashup of the first 5 minutes. And there's a chance they may show this at CinemaCon as well too. But that's going to be closed. That's not going to be a public thing at CinemaCon. So just keep that in mind. But it'll probably be the beginning of the film. Now, what will be at the beginning of the film? The way Superman starts, it's an action sequence. So James Gunn, despite what he's showing with these trailers and everything, they, like I said, we'll see if they do this marketing better, because it jumps right into Superman being Superman right at the beginning of the movie. That's what I heard with that, and that's likely what they're going to show when the film first starts. So we'll see. We'll see as far as with the marketing. And hey, with it being Superman, this is top 3 comic book IP in the world. Batman, Spider-Man, Superman. So the world's watching, and if it crashes and burns, it's going to do it gloriously in front of everyone. And that's why it's like, I don't see this film. You saw just what Brave New World just did, right? Did about, what, 400 million? Superman's going to make more than Sam Wilson. I don't care if it's Marvel. Superman's going to do more than that, right? So it just, will the critics like it? Likely. So it's going to be up to the audience score. That's what's going to determine this film. That's where the fate has always been for this film. It is on the audience. All right, so we'll see. And like I said, we'll keep an eye on the marketing. I know some viewers here, they want to at least know the major news with Superman. And then more breakdowns. We got the Superman channel. We'll talk about that more, right? Interesting stuff. Yeah, good advice, Jason. Whatever you consume, don't consume it. Yeah, and then, oh, man. And this is, I mean, if Superman ends up going mid, because I think the critics are going to like it. I think Superman, I don't think you can't just totally bomb with Superman. But Jurassic World, all the kids and families are going to see Jurassic World. July 2nd, that's July 4th, opening week. A week later is Superman. You're going to have families still going to see Jurassic World and return viewership for Jurassic World Rebirth. Yeah, that's going to affect Superman. There is a scenario. Jurassic World comes out, does over 100 million opening weekend, and then the second weekend does like 50 plus, and it could probably still beat Superman week 1 with like 55 million. But then with Superman, it has that second weekend. Those Smurfs comes out, but it's Superman, right? So that's going to get its attention, and as long as it gets that critic bump, it's going to make enough money. Then if the audience likes it, then it's going to make a little bit more. But then it's a wrap when Fantastic Four comes out. So that's a scenario. We'll keep our eye on it. Hey, next week, this is a big week for Superman, for DC, Warner Brothers. You know, this is that new look at Superman. And if the marketing bombs next week, then just take back everything I said today. If they don't nail this marketing next week, then yeah, there's no chance for that film at that point. So we'll see. We'll be covering it. All right. What was saying in the comments? We got to get into the Rebel Moon talk. Feels worse than Brave New World. Yeah, I just don't see it. It's just Superman as a brand. I don't see it doing worse than Brave New World. I mean, It's actually no way that can happen. But if it makes like 500, 600 million, I think it's a $600 million film with all those factors, with being sandwiched in there with it. Maybe the audience doesn't absolutely love it. I'm sure the critics will. It sounds like a $600 million film. Now, if the audience really likes it, then yeah, that it has a chance to make some money, some big money. We'll see. I know what Sickness is going to watch. Dinosaurs. What Robert say? Lilo and Stitch. Yep. And How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah, that's coming out. I don't see how realistically it can pull much money. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a guarantee. Jurassic World is going to eat into that first week, and I think, like I said, I think Jurassic World can beat it. Like it'll be Jurassic World's second week against Superman's first week. I think Jurassic World can win that actually. But we'll see. That's going to be an interesting week overall. Another two fan of the animated shows alongside Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four is going to be huge. I really think that's going to be huge. Superman, we shall see once it comes out. Yeah, next week's going to be a big week. Big week in marketing. All right, so let's get into our main topic here. We'll talk about Rebel Moon. You know, last year when it was really the end of 2023, there's a lot of talk about will Rebel Moon be successful? You know, Zack Snyder, no A-listers in the film. It's a new IP. He ain't really got no, real star power. You know, Netflix, those numbers don't seem high enough on Netflix. There's a lot of talk. So what I did, I did a stream last year, and I'm gonna bring that up real quick because I talked about the path to success for Rebel Moon. Now it's very clear the path that it would likely would need to take to do its thing. So let me pull this up here. Let's see, Rebel Moon, what we got? So we see the total views. So if Rebel Moon costs about 160 million to make, you got two films, you already cleared the 70 million view mark in 16 days. You have part two coming out in April under that same budget. Now, marketing could be one thing. We don't have the marketing numbers, but this is streaming. They're not spending as much as box office. And in fact, they front loaded the marketing with this franchise because this is introducing an original IP. That's why you saw them on NFL Fox Sundays. They are introducing you to a new world. So you will be on board for part two and the extended cuts. Under that same budget of 166 million, you're actually getting four films. I'm going to treat it like three different situations. You clear 70 million viewers for part one. You're going to do it for part two. Pretty sure everyone's going to be back in April to hit this mark again. And then for the extent, and just to be clear, it did similar numbers second time for part two. The cuts this summer. I'm pretty sure they can get 70 million combined, if not separately for the extended cuts in the first 28 days. Now, if you're going to get 70 million views, we'll put it like this. We see week 1, week 2, week 3. I say week 4. I say in week 4, you get about 4 million views. We'll get those numbers next Tuesday. And then probably the 5th week, you get about another million. So we'll just roughly say it'll end up with what? Another 5 to 10 million? We'll say 10. For a 28-day period, 80 million views, I think is great, right? This is just for part 1. Part 2, I think we'll do another 80 million in 28 days, which it pretty much did. And then the extended cuts, I'll say collectively, that can get you 80 million views in 28 days. I'm pretty sure it can reach those markers. If you add those together, 80 times 3, 80 million times 3, it's 200. Now, I was on the right track, but I did not anticipate the botched release of Netflix stretching out the director's cuts and just how they released it, right? Because that did hurt the viewership of the director's cuts, right? But I was cooking then. It's 240 million views under that $166 million budget, meaning it would actually be profitable, more profitable than even Red Notice. All right. So I was a little hyped, right? I was a little hyped when I was doing some math there. So what did it actually end up doing, right? Because I was like, hey, this is if the trajectory stayed there where you had a solid release, part 1, part 2, then the director's cut release, you put all that viewership together, I was like, yo, this could clear Red Notice. What did it actually do? Well, glad you asked. Didn't quite get to 240, right? Didn't get to 240. So, but where did 193, according to that Grok 3 tool on X Twitter, combined 193 million views for Rebel Moon Saga across all 4 releases. And then see, people, when I did that stream early last year, people scoffed like, "Oh, you can't accumulate views." But what was the rule I told y'all? I only said this because I had my homies on here, my friends over there on Samba TV, much love to Samba TV. When they came on this platform 4 years ago, and they told us that Snyder Cut was a success, despite what people say about Samba TV, they came on my channel, and that's probably another video I can unlock on here because YouTube's working with me again. Samba TV, they said no, the Snyder Cut was no doubt a success, according to their numbers. People try to use Samba TV against Snyder Cut, but they actually said it on my channel. It was a success, and they showed the numbers. So that's one thing. But aside from that, they said the way that streamers count views is when they count the Snyder Cut. If you watch the Snyder Cut, that's 1 view. And if you watch the Justice is Gray, that's a separate view, but under the same file, basically, is the best way to put it. So no matter if you watch the Snyder Cut or the Gray version, it all counts under the same project. So I applied that to Rebel Moon, part 1 and 2, and the director's cut. 4 films, 1 budget, 166 million that was spent on that. And you got 4 releases. You accumulate the views, and again, I was like, yo, this can be 240 is what I was saying at first, but again, a little botch release, but it still did well because we ended up with 193 for accumulated views. Oh, you wouldn't believe the messages I got when I did that video last year. People just scoffed at the idea, like, no way. But I saw the trajectory of it. When you saw how part one did, and then part two again came with that same energy. And then, like I said, they could have handled that director's cut much, much better. So that did hurt my overall prediction, but it still ended up in number 2 on the list of the most watched Netflix project ever. So shout out to Snyder fans overall. Zack Snyder fans made this happen because this was necessary. When we're talking about keeping all avenues open for what Zack Snyder's going to do in the future, yeah, let's keep that door open if Netflix can do something, if Amazon, if Warner Brothers can. But when Zack Snyder releases, it needs to be a W. I don't care what agenda you on, what hashtag you're using. This had to succeed. Now, I didn't get number 1, but pretty darn close, right? So shout out to Zack Snyder fans. Again, staying on code. You know, all those repeat viewings of Rebel Moon and everything that people did to make sure this did the numbers, director's cut. Even though they botched the director's cut release, we still got enough views for it to be in the top 2 overall for Netflix viewership. No, it flopped. I swear, people hated that I did the cumulative numbers approach. But that's exactly, again, I was just going off of what Sama TV told me. So you apply it to the same situation. As it says again, it surpassed all but one film on the list, Red Notice. And I swear, if they would have did the director's cut release right, it would have hit that 240 like I was expecting. It was slotted in number 2 ahead of Don't Look Up, which was a huge success. And it says Carry On. Interesting. This was needed. This was needed to rank in this way for Netflix analytics. For anyone, again, doubting Zack Snyder and his fan base worldwide. And I do believe, yeah, he'll get part 3. In accordance with what I heard, when he gets 3, he's going to get 4 at the same time. Another dual project. And they want more Rebel Moon, probably, spinoffs or something. So this was a W for the Snyder fandom. Again, it just so happens we keep winning. And again, we just had the recent trending event, 318. You got the BVS training event. I believe it was this Wednesday, or is it Tuesday? Is it tomorrow? Is that an L? BVS release date 5. So that's tomorrow. BVS release. That's right. I'm thinking of the air cut training event is Wednesday. So tomorrow is BVS day. So I'm gonna probably do something similar like I did with the Snyder cut. I'm gonna do a rewatch of obviously the Ultimate Edition, and I'll post a thread on Twitter, just some standout shots and stuff like that, keeping Zack Snyder in the conversation. I mean, again, just like we said with the trending event, me personally, I don't think it matters what hashtag you use. It's keeping Zack Snyder in the conversation, and even further than that, Zack Snyder's name, I feel, should be trending. So if you, whatever you hashtag, make sure you're talking about Zack Snyder, keeping him in the conversation. This was a huge win right here on Netflix, the biggest streaming platform in the world. And again, like I said, we need Netflix to kind of step up its marketing game, its release game. We do need them to do that. We do need Netflix to keep the fandom informed. Twilight of the Gods, and if there's any more Army of the Dead stuff that needs to be done. But that's what my focus is going to be on. As Carlos said in the chat, hashtag Zack Snyder. Keep Zack Snyder, no matter what you're hashtagging, Just make sure you're talking about Zack Snyder because it's working. It's working. Now, this is bargaining power, just like November 2019, when everyone was hashtagging release the Snyder Cut. What was it, 2020? Everyone was hashtagging release the Snyder Cut. All of a sudden, they released the Snyder Cut. Same energy. Same energy. And again, no matter what campaign that you're on, I'm saying on my platform, I'm keeping all doors open. We're keeping our eyes on several things. And, and however this works, as we showed here, we're going to be supporting Zack. That's all it comes down to. Back to back in the background for sure. Man, that first like almost week or so, I was just rewatching part one, rewatching. When part two came out, I was rewatching them both back to back. Then the director's cut. I mean, yeah. I'm just saying going forward, I only could watch the director's cut. I mean, it's Zack Snyder, so that's how it kind of works out anyway. But you can't go back after watching the director's cut. You can't go back to the PG cuts. You just can't. Zack keeps winning despite the hate. I mean, I'm just saying this is a huge W, man. So this just shows Netflix. I think this shows anyone that was, I don't want to say like doubting Zack, but just thinking that he needs to have 300 million for every project he does. Zack just showed you no. 166, 4 drops. No star power, number 2 project on Netflix history. It only lost to the most expensive Netflix project ever, Red Notice, which happened to have 2 of the biggest stars in the world at that time was The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot was probably at her height after Wonder Woman, all in that one film. That's the only film that beat Rebel Moon. Interesting. Director's cut only exists for me. Yeah, I can't. With Rebel Moon, I can't go back because, like, especially just the beginning of part 1, like you gotta have that scene. Like it's like you can't watch that film without that scene, and the rest is history with that. So. I was saying with Netflix, we just got to work on that release schedule a little bit. That's all. We got to work on that because this could have been the big, just like I was thinking last year, this could have been the biggest viewership ever. Got pretty close. Zack is hate proof. Oh yeah. Electric Slate now. Yeah, Electric State. Yeah, now is the most expensive. Yeah. Highly Fee was good. So those are the numbers for Zack Snyder, Rebel Moon. Yeah, I think you're right. Real Popcorn. Yeah. Make sure you smash the like. Make sure you still subscribe. We're going to be here with more regular content for sure. I was supposed to run this earlier, so there's another L that I did. Another L that I didn't show this earlier. Make sure you smash the like. Make sure you still subscribe. As I said, we're going to be doing probably some Saturday evening streams and maybe some Mondays. Just depends on how the news comes in. And I mentioned we're expecting memberships to be back live next month. Memberships will be just $199 for this platform, and you will get early access videos, members only videos, first looks, and we keep an eye on the Saudis. So if I hear anything, it's coming to members first over here. So that's gonna open back up real soon. If you want just my straight up scoops, DC, Marvel, Star Wars, etc., come with Patreon. Links in the description. It will remain there as well. Saudi watch for sure. Saudi watch. Interesting stuff. For sure. We here, bro. We here. I slap on the PG cut sometimes, and I keep an eye out. Yeah, at the beginning of that first, part one, it's like, yo, what Nas say? Don't say the car topless. Them boys was out. I was like, dang, Zack. I was like, okay, hey, we need the visceral story here. We need to see all these details. I swear, man. Any last minute comments or questions, throw it in the chat as we wind this one down. Again, success confirmed for the fandom. And that's what it's always been about. I mean, we all, like I said, have different approaches, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, it's about keeping Zack Snyder in the conversation. That's what it's all about. So that's what we're going to do over here continuously. And we'll definitely be doing, again, regular streams more frequently. And we'll start getting those membership videos up as well, too. So, all right. Coming forward. Let's see what we got this week. So, so like I said, just stay tuned. It's going to be I'm kind of doing different conversations again with different people in the fandom, and we're gonna have a lot of fun bringing those conversations to y'all. We want Snyder fans' perspectives on a lot of stuff, and I'm gonna make sure I deliver that here as well. So stay tuned. Definitely stay tuned. Maria says, "Do you think Batgirl will ever see the light of day?" No, I'm not expecting that. Maria, earlier, I kind of touched on that on this stream where they went through with the tax write-off for Batgirl. They went through everything. So, they can't legally sell that again. They can't legally put that out. So unless someone, again, has a copy on a thumb drive somewhere, they could leak it. But I don't think we'll ever see that. And just according to everyone when they did a final screen, they did a screening of Batgirl on Warner Brothers lot before they buried it and wrote it off. And overwhelmingly, most people say it was a terrible film that saw that final screening. They was like, this is no way to see the light of day. So I don't think it will. I hope someone leaks it though. I do hope whoever put that, they put that footage out there, what was that, last week, and then it got copyright struck everywhere. Whoever put that clip out, maybe someone will leak it. We shall see. Again, really cool. Really appreciate, again, y'all here. We definitely gonna get these back regular and fired up, and I'll make sure I get the word out early enough so everybody know we'll be here. Much love to Still Nation. Again, absolutely more content to come. And to check out, again, like I said, the entire Geek Network, link in the description to the link tree. If you want more in-depth Superman coverage, Batman, Spider-Man, Marvel, X-Men, we doing it all. But right here, we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it on the original plan at hand. We'll be back real soon. We out of here, y'all.
There's no need to regulate. Free speech is always the better way. The truth will never discriminate. Free thinking has been to solve a better place. Better place where we cannot conversate. I mean, converse. Don't make this shit worse. Just try to appreciate. After this verse, so take us to church. Let knowledge disperse. Ideas then culminate. Turn into action. Speak words with reason and passion. Honestly spoken, no need for retraction. Keep on demanding your full satisfaction. We made it happen, though we collapsed and broken in fractions. all of these factions, overreact and broken in fractions. If I played a part, then I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.